Vladimir Putin is increasingly worried about the Russian economy. The Russian elite believes that the war should be settled through negotiations. Reuters reports that the Russian economy has been strained in recent months by labor shortages and high interest rates to combat inflation that has accelerated amid record military spending. This has contributed to a view among the Russian elite that a negotiated settlement to the war is preferable, the sources said. Russia, of course, has an economic interest in a diplomatic end to the conflict, said Oleg Vyugin, a former deputy chairman of Russia's central bank, citing the risk of growing economic imbalances as Russia ramps up military spending. Until recently, Russia's $2.2 trillion economy had shown remarkable resilience during the war, and Putin praised top officials and businesses for skirting the toughest Western sanctions. After contracting, in 2022, Russia's GDP grew faster than the European Union and the United States in 2023 and 2024. However, the central bank and the International Monetary Fund are forecasting growth of less than 1.5% this year, although the government is forecasting a slightly brighter outlook. Inflation reached double digits despite the central bank raising its benchmark interest rate to 21% in October. We have some problems, namely inflation, a certain overheating of the economy, Putin said on December the 19th. The government and the central bank have already been tasked with reducing the pace. This year, Russia increased defense spending to a post-Soviet high of 6.3% of GDP, accounting for a third of budget expenditure. This spending has fueled inflation. Along with wartime labor shortages, it has led to higher wages. The government is also seeking to increase tax revenues to reduce the budget deficit. According to Vyugin, persistently high rates will put pressure on the balance sheets of enterprises and banks. At the same time, the source noted that Putin was noticeably unhappy to hear that private investment is declining due to the high cost of loans. Russian coal and steel producer Mechel, owned by businessman Igor Zyuzin, has announced a debt reconstructuring which has been under pressure from low coal prices and high interest rates. Some of Russia's most powerful businessmen, including Rosneft chief Igor Sechin, Rostec chief Sergei Chemezov, aluminium magnate Oleg Deripaska, and Alexei Mordashov, the largest shareholder in steelmaker Severstal, have publicly criticized high interest rates.
Parched Southern California was forecast to face more dangerous winds on Wednesday, but could get some badly needed rain this weekend, dampening the prospects of another round of killer wildfires, though even a small amount of precipitation could create new challenges like toxic ash runoff. According to Associated Press, Los Angeles officials were preparing for that prospect even as a small number of residents were allowed to return to the devastated Pacific Palisades and Altadena areas, and firefighters quickly controlled small blazes that broke out. Los Angeles County supervisors also approved an emergency motion to install flood control. Winds eased somewhat Tuesday afternoon after peaking at 60 miles per hour in many areas, but gusty conditions were expected to return in the next 2 days. Red flag warnings for critical fire risk were extended through 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Thursday in LA and Ventura counties. Fire engines and water-dropping aircraft allowed crews to swiftly douse several small blazes that popped up in LA and San Diego counties, officials said. Firefighters also battled the Clay Fire in Riverside County, east of Los Angeles, according to CAL FIRE, the state firefighting agency. CAL FIRE's website said on Wednesday morning that the fire had burned 39 acres and was 40% contained.